Before I ask you as an engineer to trust me and to take my advice and apply it to your career and your life on this journey of advancement and promotion, I think it's not only fair, but absolutely necessary for me to share with you what I've accomplished, what I've done in my own career that would make me somebody who's qualified to give you advice, and that would give you peace of mind and trust that my advice might actually lead somewhere that you're trying to go. So I spent the last 8 years of my engineering career at John Deere. John Deere is, if you're unfamiliar, a Fortune 100 company. Over that time, the first 7 years of that 8 years, I was promoted 4 times in some type of engineering role. And I moved up from entry level through the company to Scrum Master and product owner to an engineering manager. And then I left the company in my last role as a high-level software strategy role for huge parts of the company, covering work that impacts around 3,000 embedded software developers for the company. So I don't think that that resume makes me capable to answer every single question and have every answer to every possible problem under the sun. But it does tell you that I've spent a lot of time on both sides of the table. I've been involved in the hiring process of a lot of engineers for my own team and other teams from within the company. So I have a pretty good insight and view onto how these decisions are made, how it's determined who will get more responsibility and accountability and move up in the company. I think one of the things that shaped my perspective greatly is the fact that over those 8 years, I wasn't in one narrow engineering domain, niche, area, whatever you want to call it. So I started out of college with my bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering, and I came into Deere in a mechanical engineering role working on engines, right? And that was my introduction to John Deere. And over time, I moved more into embedded software. I became an embedded software developer. And then I became a Scrum Master and product owner for a team. And that gave me my first real exposure to bigger responsibility, doing things that kind of guide and lead the team in terms of success, effort, organization, commitment, responsibility, delivery, accountability, etc. Then I moved into an engineering manager position where I managed a team of 6 to 10 engineers, depending on who we had on the team at the time, which was a big jump up and was a people leadership role. So trying to give the team technical direction and support, as well as people leadership and people development. And that's what really also helped unlock my understanding of what makes strong engineers for promotion cases, having been a manager myself, watching engineers, coaching them, mentoring them, rooting for them, advancing their career. I had multiple people on my team during that time get promotions, get moved up, get pushed ahead in terms of their career goals and progression. So that helped build a lot of the knowledge that I have and that I coach and teach today. So as the title changes started to happen and I started to progress through these roles, my focus started to shift, right? My focus started to shift from taking individual work, executing really well, and delivering on time. But what started to grow more is the ambiguity of the problems I was asked to solve, the amount of people I had to coordinate with and work with to bring a solution into place, the leadership that it took, even when nobody formally reported to me at first, to lead projects, lead initiatives, get people bought in on your vision, your solution, guide the team to the right solution without even having direct reporting structure or authority over people. And those things helped build the skills and build the mindset shifts that I needed to get into that first management position officially, even though you have to hone those skills in an unofficial capacity before you actually get that title change. So the biggest shift really happened after I got that title change to engineering manager and got that responsibility of being an official, on paper, manager of a group of engineers. So now I had to really start to think about questions like, who can I trust on my team with these important deadlines, deliverables, etc., right? Who needs help? Who has maybe some of the technical aptitudes but might need some development in some of the other skills? Who can deal with ambiguous problems and drive them to solution and delivery? Who struggles with that and might need some help? Those are all questions that you start to think of as a manager and start to shape how you view somebody, going from position A to position B, being promoted, moving up. So my last role at John Deere was a staff level engineer role, and I would argue it's even had higher responsibility and scope than that. But that was the official title level, and it was focused on all of embedded software delivery, all of embedded software strategy for multiple divisions and units at the company. And that was a pretty dramatic change from what I was used to. And it's one of the main reasons I took the role was for that challenge and that exposure into an entirely different set of challenges, a different domain, and a different type of role that I'd never really experienced up until that point. Up until that point, I was really just looking at the engineering work right in front of me, what I was tasked with, and then as a manager, what my team is tasked with and what my team is trying to deliver, and developing people on my team and in my adjacent area. And that progression, I think, up to this role taught me something very, very important, right? We go, as our career progresses, from being concerned with our specific tasks, our specific projects, to larger problems, more ambiguous problems that affect more people, more teams, more departments, more divisions. And eventually in some roles, we're looking at stuff at a high level organizational perspective. And that progression and that expansion of scope is a huge part of what individual career progression can really look like. So that's really where the three ideas that I talk about over and over come from. We need to find a way to get our hands into higher impact work. We need that impact from that work to be visible to more people, and we need to get trust and buy-in from leadership and management to give us more responsibility. In turn, that title change, promotion, and compensation and recognition that we're looking for. Those are literally the things that I implemented in my career to earn my 4 promotions over 7 years at a very competitive, prestigious, at least for mechanical engineering and Midwest company, worldwide company. And I've mentored and coached a lot of other engineers to do the same with those 3 main pillars as well. Now, a big part of the reason why I left my corporate engineering job at John Deere in February of 2026 to do coaching full-time is because I realized that I enjoy empowering other engineers and mentoring them, coaching them, helping them achieve their career aspirations more than I enjoyed being an engineer myself. And I just noticed this pattern of so many engineers being frustrated, being technically strong engineers, being dependable, delivering results, but having the wrong mentality and thinking that if they just keep their head down and grind away, eventually somebody will notice, eventually somebody will come, tap them on their shoulder to raise their head and tell them that they're getting a promotion, that they're moving up. So that's really, why I got into this and why I'm interested to help solve this problem for you and for anybody else who would like me to walk on this path with them. Now, if you want to learn more about my one-on-one program and all the details, there's another highlight here on my page that you can click on that talks about my coaching program, or check the link in my bio and you can read the entire program details. And then feel free to reach out to me with a DM if you want to ask some more questions, need some clarification, or just want to start a conversation and really dig down and see if my program is going to be a fit for you. Thanks.